It is still astounding and worth repeating, it seems to me, that yesterday, after we knew a man who was armed and had a record, was in the elevator with the president, that some guy ran across the front yard and got into the White House, that just a few years before, someone had shot at the White House and the Secret Service didn't even know it. With all of that knowledge, the White House still had full confidence, and still had full confidence, according to Josh Earnest just now, until she submitted her resignation. What's changed, the reporter asked. Well, she submitted her resignation. Should there be more open lines of communication? It didn't get it really strict. When the president is in the elevator with a man with a gun who has a record, there ought to be more direct, open communication with the White House. That seems like an easy question to answer, doesn't it? Yet we didn't even get that as a yes answer. Our senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano, was with us on the Fox News deck. This is insanity. How is it possible that they couldn't react? When that happens, you can react. You can just go out on a limb and say, yeah, this wasn't good.
Shep, I share the same frustrations that you do. Josh Earnest, who's an intelligent guy, was giving robotic answers. This is a terrible black eye for the administration, literally in the president's backyard. It's obvious that Secretary Johnson told Director Pearson this morning that she had to resign. These resignations do not, I'll submit my resignation to you and see if you accept it. That's not the way it works. It's also obvious she was woefully ill-prepared, unprepared, underprepared for yesterday. They either sent her up there knowing she would embarrass herself and be forced to resign, or she somehow thought that a cavalier, uncaring, again, robotic attitude that she manifested yesterday would somehow satisfy the legitimate demands of everybody across the board for why wasn't the president protected? Why didn't you know that the sign language guy had been convicted of murder? Why didn't you know that the guy in the elevator was carrying a gun and been charged with assault 3 times? You have an obligation to know this. How could you let somebody with a gun get in a small elevator with the president? She couldn't answer that stuff. And
how, when someone ran across the yard and got into the house, your response would be, well, our agents exercise great restraint. Bad idea. Great restraint. Bad idea.
This is the problem with the culture of the Secret Service changing with each presidency, with the perception that the president wants a warm and fuzzy. I mean, it's probably an inaccurate perception, but the perception on the part of the Secret Service that a president wants a warm and fuzzy Secret Service as opposed to a Palace Guard Secret Service. Their job is to keep him safe, well, and alive, no matter what their PR, and consistent with the Constitution, of course, no matter what their PR may be. I don't know that Director Pearson was even in the job long enough. She's only been in there since last March of 2013 to have affected the culture of the Secret Service, but a culture that will allow this guy to run across the lawn into the building and then be tackled by an off-duty Secret Service guy who was in there giving a tour of the building. He wasn't even on the clock. Was just lucky that he happened to be there and tackle this guy is utterly unacceptable, no matter what your politics are in the United States today. And the president knows that. I'm sure he asked her to resign. But they have to revamp the Secret Service from bottom on up. I say that having had personal exposure to many of these people. And the people to whom I've had personal exposure, I can only characterize as dedicated, hardworking, fearless, selfless people who would literally take a bullet for the president if they had to.